Hello, my name is Dae-myung Kang. I will introduce troubleshooting Redis. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk at this RedisConf. And I will talk about, before starting talk about troubleshooting Redis, I will introduce myself a bit, and I introduce also my project. And I work for Kakao. Kakao is a company in South Korea. Do you know Korea? Yeah. I work for Kakao as a senior software engineer, and I'm also Redis and TM proxy contributor. There is some code that I made, and I'm also Redis document merger. I just clicked to merge some PRs, and also I'm Apache Tajo committer. Apache Tajo is a kind of SQL on hardware project. Do you know Hive or Presto or other things? Tajo is like those kind of things. And I'm working on Kakao story. Who knows Kakao? Wow, really? Wow. There are too many people. I just expect no one know about the Kakao because Kakao is very famous in South Korea only. So Kakao story is a kind of social network service. It's like Facebook. It is very popular in South Korea. And Kakao Story has 8 million daily active users, 8 million. And 50 million monthly active users we have. And daily 420 million API calls from client. Yeah. And Kakao Story uses many components for service. For storage, MySQL, as master and slave with MHA. Maybe I expect anyone know about the MHA. And to control feed list, we use HBase in Cassandra. For cache, we use Redis and Arcos. Who don't know about the Redis? Maybe no one here. But Arcos is maybe I expected just one or two guys know because I already mentioned it to them only. So Kakao is not Kakao. Arcos is main cache variant, but it has original main cache features plus collection, such as B plus 3, set, list. It's like Redis, but it doesn't support replication or persistent options. So you can easily find it because it is also open source. So you can use it finding. So how much we use Redis in Kakao Story? Kakao Story use 274 physical servers, and its total memory 5.2 terabyte. Is it small or big? Big, yes. I think it's kind of small. And Arcos, we also use 137 servers and 3.3 terabyte. For social network service, there needs too much caches. Cache is cache, but we use for network latency and for responsive time, so we can use too much caches. Also too much cache also. So why Redis? As you look aside cache, we use Redis to cache service data. For example, user profile information, feed list, activities, friends list, sometimes notification and push. Yeah, we save everything into Redis. So this is agenda that I talk about. Keep in mind, Redis is single-threaded. So everything is derived from this. Features. So it can make some good things, it can make some bad things. All things are derived from single-threaded. And second, I will talk about memory fragmentation. Who made memory fragmentation in your service? Yes, just a few guys. I will show bad things. And the third is the main topic of this session, less troubleshooting case. I will introduce some common payload cases you can encounter. I'm sorry, my English is somewhat limited, so sometimes my pronunciation sucks. And Redis monitoring, I introduced some monitoring metrics to monitor Redis, but unfortunately, yesterday some speakers mentioned about this many times, but I will introduce. And how to get high availability with Redis, the last topic. So Redis is single-threaded. I will repeat many times this because it can cause some trouble also. So single-threaded make Redis easy to use, easy to develop, easy to test, and easy to pay also. This is Redis event loop. Could you see? There is the command 1, command 2. Redis use IO multiplexing to handle network event. So equal for Linux and KQ for BSD series. So when Redis receives a command, Redis check the protocol is valid or invalid. If it is valid, Redis execute that command immediately. But it is not valid at the time it just sends the protocol is bad. But I repeat, Redis is a single-threaded. What this mean? It means there is an answer. Redis only can execute only one command at a time. So it means Redis is not suitable for execute long time spending operations. So which command can be long time spending operations? Wow, many guys know about the answers. So case is very famous long time spending operation. And FlushDB using raw script and multi and exec and delete collection also can be long time spending operation. I said can be long time spending operation. It is not always long time spending operation. Because why they are slow? Who knows? It's these commands are big O of N commands. What this mean? It depends, its performance depends the number of items in Redis. So if you just have one item, keys return very quickly. But if you have 1 million or 1 billion items, at that time it can cause failure. So this is key to command source code. Case command iterate all items using while loop. So it depends on the number of size of Redis. Flowsheet is also, additionally, it free its memory immediately also. So it will be more late compared to case. So how slow? Anyone test this? I just test it on my Mac, so it is somewhat different, but it is maybe the same. There is 1 million items in Redis, so if you use and Flowsheet commands, it takes 1 second. 1 second is too short or too long. Yes, 1 second is really too long in computer world. So it means not just, for 1 second, all other commands must wait to finish this kind of long time spending operation. Delete collection is also, but these days, from 2.8, Redis support scan commands. So you can easily avoid this kind of problem. So what is better? So using multiple, I have a question. Who run only one instance in one physical machine, Redis? Or run multiple instances? Wow. You guys already know the answer, so but if you use multiple Redis instances on a physical servers, at that time you can use more CPU efficiently. So I recommend this, and it has another advantage. This is the root of bad things, pork. Anyone know RDB and AOF? Yes, maybe all guys know, but no, just a few guys put their hands. Creating RDB is spend much disk I/O and much network bandwidth and maximum to use memory twicely. AOP rewrite is also because do you know AOP rewrite? AOP is just save the command, Redis command into the disk, but the size is bigger and bigger, so AOP rewrite is needed. When AOP rewrite start, let's fork, and the memory Redis make memory state to Redis commands, and at that time the delete command and other commands will removed. So AOP rewrite is needed. So it causes this kind of problem: CPU loss, CPU users, disk I/O, as I mentioned. For example, so there is only one Redis instance on a sub, and the right side is there are 3 instances on a physical server. So this one, it is hard to control when the Redis forked, because it used 24 GB memories. So when Redis fork, it probably used over 32 GB memory. But right one, even the one Redis sub fork, the total spending memory usage not exceed the physical memories. So it gives you more reliable. And if you use multiple Redis instances in a machine using CPU affinity, it doesn't make any difference in normal load, but in heavy load, it can cause more performance. So it gives more good performance. Also, divide network interrupt CPU and Redis process CPU. Yeah. Second, memory fragmentation. This is actual memory usage of Kakao 3. Maybe I think, I'm sorry, you guys don't see these things. It is 4.6 GB used memory, and there is 5.3 GB of RSS. I think it is not bad. But let's see the second table. Used memory is just 2.6, but RS is over than 12. Wow, what happened? Their memory portion is really big. And I really met this case. That's why I captured this image. So it can cause some trouble. So you must check used memory and RSS to serve them. Some guys don't check RSS, but it can cause, even though used memory is very low, but Redis instance can crash and can use swap memory also. And Redis 2.12, Redis uses JMalloc 3.6. I heard JMalloc 3.6 is better, so I migrate some server to 2.8. 24. But let's see, it doesn't make any difference. So you must monitor your Redis instance memory state. So that's why Kakao 3 used some Arcos for some cases, these kind of things. I investigated this situation. At that time, I found some one thing. If you use add or remove or modify many items frequently, and it has variant size. For example, one item is just 1 byte, other is 1K, 10K, something is 1 megabyte. It can cause, it can easily cause memory fragmentation. So moderate the size of items or using memcached or other solution for this case. And the main topic of this session, yes. This is, I also mentioned about the case command is long time spending operation. Yeah, let's see the graph. Every 6 seconds, there is performance spike. Why? Yeah, it is because of keys. One of my coworkers using keys in production. So how to find out this usage of keys? First of all, using import all commands. Import commands shows the command state. At that time, you can easily see keys command is called 249 times. And you can also use slow log command. If you send slow log get 10, it shows the rate is 10 commands. Yeah. So you can easily find using of keys command. But even though you announced don't use keys command, I will fire. But it is important because there are some members changes, and you guys come here. At the time, you forgot this sentence. So it easily occurs in production. So the good way is rename keys command. Yes, it's good, I think. So some guys using rename commands, Redis support rename commands, so rename keys command double quote, so don't use it. But even though we prohibit using unpredictable keys command, we need iterate all items sometimes. We wanted to show all items. So the answer is using scan. But sometimes we can use 2.6. There is no answer. So someone guy use 2.6. Oh, fortunately, yeah. But I'm currently using now. So many Redis server is 2.6, so I'm crying. So if you're using scan command, you can easily iterate all items in Redis without performance degradation. Why? This is Redis dictionary structure. It is a hash table. After hashing keys, Redis bit mask hashed key with some bit. And the result of bit masking will be index of hash table. So there is 4 bucket and 6 items: apple, orange, melon, banana, potato, kiwi. My protein is good or bad? Yes. If you start scan command, scan with 0. 0 means the start cursor. So if you send the scan 0, at that time, it sends only one indexed item. In this time, it will return apple and orange and next cursor. It will be 1. And if you send using the return cursor, scan 1, at that time you can get melon. And next cursor is maybe 2 is there is no item, so it returns 3. So actually scan 3, the command return banana, potato, key, and what is the next cursor? Yeah, 0. 0 means iteration is finished. So if you get a 0 as index, at the time you just stop the iteration. You already get all items. And second is all right commands sudden fail. And this time you can get this error message, misconf, Redis is configured, blah, 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 blah. I just passed. Because there is a code server stop write on PC save error. If this is yes, and there is some other case is also true, let's just return. An error message like this. Why? Redis recognize pairing of creating RDB is a somewhat dangerous situation. So Redis wanted to prevent the changing of memory state, so it prohibits all writable commands. But you guys who use your own service, so recovering service is more important, or just checking the error message is more important? I think recovering service is more important. So you can easily recover this situation using config set commands. Config set stop write on PC save error? No. The default option is yes. So if you think recovering service is more important, at that time just send as no. And second problem is using default option. Who uses default option? Wow, one guy, two guys. Do you use a default option in production or using just test product?
We have small environments.
Yeah.
200.
Yeah. Oh, okay. If you use just default option in test, it doesn't matter. But if you use this default option for product, it can cause some trouble. So in my case, we just use Redis as cache, but sometimes someone wanted to Redis as store. In this case, if you use just Redis as a cache, you don't need to use some persistent options using RDB or using AOP. Don't use them. It opened the hell gate. Yeah. This is save option parameter. These are all conditions. So if you add another condition, you can add another condition easily. So the first argument is time, second. The unit is second. So and second argument is number of changed item. Number of changed item means add, delete, multiply, those kind of things. So in 900 seconds, more than one item is changed. At that time, Redis start to creating RDB. And second, in 300 seconds, more than 10 items are changed. At that time, let's start to create RDB. You easily understand this option also. Why this makes some problem? Because in production, it is very easy. If you have some traffic, at that time you can easily add and delete and remove some. Delete and remove is the same thing. Modify or update some keys. The 10,000 is really small. So it means this save option is not suitable for your production. So, but 99% of Redis failure is because of this and keys commands. So 3 months ago, I don't exactly remember the exact time, but one of our service make this kind of spike. So every 6 seconds is send response lately. So I just connect to that Redis server and turn off save option. It make peace. Yes, but actually this is frequently occur. So you can check this. So it can, creating RDB and AF rewrite cause some heavy disk I/O and high CPU load, and it can also sometimes use high usage of bandwidth, network bandwidth. So you can easily turn off config set save, double quote, yeah. And using some memory. Sometimes it causes big problem because if some processes start to use some memory, there is nothing to stop the using of some memory, but kill and restart. So most monitoring don't use some memory. So imagine there is one Redis instance and in use already 28 gigabyte memory on a single 32 gigabyte machine. Is it easy to use some memory, or it is hard to using some memory? Very easy, because there is OS use some memory and some monitoring system use more memories, so it can cause easily using some memory. At that time, you just choose one of them, migration or kill and restart. If you can drop all data, kill and restart is also easy solution. But many guys wanted to save their data, so you can choose migration. But migration always cause fork, master's fork, so sometimes it makes your situation more badly. And sometimes the master Redis server easily can crash also because of overusing of memory. So you should monitor Redis server and keep within bound. Don't exceed the limit. So if you check the Redis usage of memory, used memory and RSS, so if you set some line, so if the users reaches the line at that time, migrate your server to scale up your server to another server using more memory machine, or there is no way, I think. And the fifth problem is simultaneous AOF rewrite. It is not actually for Kakao Story. It is another service of Kakao. Its service, one single 256 gigabyte memory, and there is 8 Redis instance. Each Redis instance using 26 gigabyte memory. But suddenly, all Redis servers start to AF rewrite. Why? Yeah? Yeah. If you use AOF, at that time, there is an option, automatic AOF rewrite option. There is, but in this case, yes, it can cause problem. We add some Redis server at the same time, so the load is unified, and so their data size is also roughly same, and it is easy to reach at the same time to cause the AOF rewrite. So it can cause some problem. So I just kill all the child process to stop all AOF rewrite and turn off automatic AOF rewrite. So how to turn off automatic AOF rewrite? Using this option. If you set this option as 0, you easily turn off AOF rewrite. But as I mentioned, AOF rewrite is needed because the size is bigger and bigger. So how to handle them? We choose manually run AF write, avoiding the peak time. What's your service peak time? Your service peak time. In Kakao 3, 10 p.m. to 12, and unfortunately, Kakao 3 is, fortunately, Kakao 3 is just only one, not global service, so every Korean go to sleep at before 4 a.m. or 6, until 6 a.m. So at that time, we manually run AF write. If you avoid the peak time, there is no heavy write. So if you control the memory size, so it can cause less disk I/O and less trouble. So you make your own script, run AF write one by one, not simultaneous. It can cause some problem also because in use here, in use 26 gigabyte memory multiply 8 instance, 8 memory gigabyte is to start to disk dump. So manually run AF write. The sixth problem is replication broken with network line failure. In background, there is a global replication. One data center is in San Francisco, and one data center is in Seoul. But suddenly, the network line is broken. Fortunately, the San Francisco is master, and Seoul is slave, so service is fine. So what happens if a network is recovered? Yeah, the slaves try to reconnect to master, all Redis slaves. So this is a replication mechanism. So slave always check, masters has check masters has periodically. So slave notify master is run. At that time, slave try to reconnect to master. So in global replication situation, all slave try to connect to master again. All master fork, and all master try to dump its memory to disk to create RDB. And all master send all RDB to slave. What happened? Yeah, the network bandwidth is exhausted, and the master server's disk is broken. So fortunately, the time is very long, and so we manually disconnect over replication relationship using slave of no one. Who don't know this command? Maybe everyone knows about this. So in this time, you must disconnect all replication relationship manually, because network is suddenly recovered at that time to prevent those kind of things. And after that, I reset the replication relationship sequentially. Only one Redis server tried to connect to master server. After that, next one, using script. And seventh problem is replication failure. There is too many reasons to fail replication. For example, permission. I also have some experience about this. If you run Redis as, if you don't have the right permission, at that time, slave can't write data into their own machine. So it failed, and slave reconnect to master again, master fork, creating RDB, sending RDB, but fail, client again connect to master. So slave node never give up. So you should check permission. And poke is sometimes failed because of memory, the insufficient memory. So you can set VM overcoming memory using sysdetail command. At that time, OS permit, how can I say, OS, yes, can fork, yes, using much memories. And this is because of output buffer size. Who experienced about this? Yeah, oh, wow, many guys. You should check your output buffer size limit. There is hard limit and soft limit. If the output buffer size is over than hard limit, at that time, let's close the connection as soon as possible. So, and if Redis output size is over than soft limit during predefined duration, let's also close the connection as soon as possible. So you should check this size. Actually, in my experience, if you use more than 16 gigabyte, 1 gig memory is, yes, proper. But it depends on your service, so you should check. And you can set these comments, you can send this comment to Redis using inline mode using Telnet, and sometimes you can use Redis CLI. I strongly recommend using Redis CLI because if you use Telnet, who uses Telnet to control Redis? No one? I just use the result is somewhat different. It depends on some less version. If you use 2.6 at that time, if you send this command to Redis using Telnet, it failed. Redis supported inline mode, so you just send this command, but it failed because there is some. It is somewhat different to handle inline buffer. So I strongly use Redis CLI. Yeah. And hash table expansion. Actually, this is not, I haven't experienced this, but it makes sense. And some of my friends has this problem. So this is the mechanism of hash table expansion. There is 4 bucket and 6 item. When hash table expansion is needed, Redis allocate twice of current hash table size. So the new hash table has 8. Yeah. So every tick, Redis move one indexed item into new hash table. And in this case, new input data always stored into new hash table. But if you try to get, at that time, Redis try to old hash table and new hash table to serve them. So after finishing expansion of hash table, Redis will remove the old one. So start to hash table expansion, you need twice of memory over hash table sizes. So imagine it grows by twice. Remember it. There is max memory and free memory if needed. Max memory is configuration, and free memory if needed is a function to reserve some memory when used memory is over than max memory. So imagine there is 1 billion items in your Redis sub. So, and the hash table size, only hash table size is 4 gigabyte. So max memory is, you set max memory as 16 gigabyte, and current used memory is 12. But hash table extension is needed. How much memory do you need? Yes, your calculation is really good, I think. You need 8 gigabyte memory more. So totally you need 20. Yeah, so 20 is bigger than 16 gigabyte memory. So in this time, free memory, if needed, try to reserve 4 GB memory. How long it takes? I don't know, but I'm sure it is longer than some minutes, I think. So it can cause some trouble. So how we can avoid this? Currently, there is no feature to avoid this, but I just heard only one guy experience this. So need a feature that can set initial size of hash table. Currently not. So, but I send a pull request to Redis, so you can check this. So it is easy to implement, I think. So just using inline patch and less monitoring. I think monitoring is important as much as using Redis. So this is some monitoring metrics. CPU users, load, using system, from system, or SNMP. Network inbound, outbound size, also important. Client connection is also important because Redis is a single-threaded. If many clients just send one command and close and reconnect, it can cause some problem, performance problem. So you should check client connections, validation, and max memory setting also, key size, process, commands. The important things are memory use and RSS because memory use can cause some, as I mentioned, the pre-memory, max memory problem, and RSS is real size of memory that Redis use. So you should check both of them. And disk use I/O, usage and I/O also. So Redis HA. Actually, we use 2 kinds of way to get high availability. One is using DNS for failover. I think it is common way. So who use this kind of failover? Oh, some guys. So you can choose DNS failover or VIP. But why we choose DNS? Because we wanted to remove some other layers. So prepare private internal DNS name server for those kind of things. So you can set for HA master 1, HA master 2, or HA slave 1, slave 2 with TTL 0. So when Redis server failed at that time, change the DNS record. New clients start to connect to new servers without any changing of your code. I think this is also a good way. So this is DNS HA flow. First of all, we imagine A is original master and B is original slave. So detect A, let's fail. You can use Sentinel or your own monitoring system. In this case, we use our own monitoring system. And second, change beacon right. If you start to change DNS name before using config set slave read only, no, your writing is failed. So you should check this and change DNS A with B. From that, new client will connect to B. And if Redis server is failed at that time, new connection also connect to B at that time. But you can use this kind of failover for migration also. So at that time, using send A client kill command to connect all connection of A. And finally, you can use config rewrite. This is easy flow. But you should check who one use Java. Java JVM caches all IP if we, permanently, IP address permanently. So if you don't use this kind of option, the DNS record doesn't record it to DNS server. So the DNS HA will fail. So you must keep this option, your JVM option, as your JVM. And who uses TM proxy? So which version do you use? Which version of TM proxy do you use? Yeah, HA proxy. I mentioned TM proxy. TM proxy. Yes. Using TM proxy using latest version is 0.4.1 because before this version, TM proxy also has the same problem. TM proxy just cache the IP address of DNS at first. So if you use 0.4.0, at that time, it doesn't work. So you should check also TM proxy version. And second way is using coordinator. We use zookeeper as coordinator. Also, you can use etcd or console. Who use zookeeper? Yeah, so many guys zookeeper. So in zookeeper, we add less information like this. Master and slaves. So when some Redis is failed, the monitoring process changes this value using slaves data. So when monitor system changes the data, the application server automatically creates new connection to new server. So there is easy migration. So this system is like this. Let's see the diagram. There is a zookeeper. So application server means API servers. API servers get the Redis server's address from zookeeper. And Redis cluster monitor also get the server list from the zookeeper. So using this information, Redis cluster monitor check the Redis server's health. So some Redis is failed. At that time, Redis cluster monitor changed the value. The event published to API servers, so API server handle them. So if you add a new server, sometimes you want to migration, sometimes you want to remove, you can use those kind of things. But if you use Redis server as store, it is more harder and complicated, I think. So I'd like to recap the main point of my talk. Redis is single-threaded. You must keep in mind. And creating RDB and AF rewrite is very expensive because of using much disk I/O and using much CPU I/O, CPU usage, and sometimes it can use the network bandwidth also. So you can check this. And don't use keys command. Yeah. And don't use default Redis configuration. And monitoring is very important to check over this. Yes. Thank you. Anyone? Anyone question about this? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys, but I'm sorry. I'm sometimes, so I need some translator. Some to watch. Yeah. 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 Old client. So as I mentioned, if the original register failed, at that time, all the connection will be closed. So it doesn't matter. But if you wanted to migration, that's why you send this client kill command to all the Redis master. Yes, so you can easily disconnect the connection. Yeah. Master? How many slaves? The number of master Redis?
The number of the slaves in your one small cluster.
Oh, one small cluster, maybe it depends on some cluster has 100 Yeah.
How many slaves for each?
Oh, it's each one and one slave, one master and one slave, each, yeah, only one use. But if you need more slaves at the time, you just add some slaves to this kind of things. There is a JSON array, so you can use this.
So do you encounter a lot of problems when master-slave switch?
But actually, it doesn't matter. Network issue. So if you mean split network or other things?
Yeah, because you mentioned that when master-slave.
Yes, it's possible. It is possible, but in my experience, it is rare. So I think we can ignore it. It doesn't. It happens rarely. So, and you can also add some protection logic for those kind of things. Prohibit rechange in sometimes. You can also add those kind of protection logic to your monitoring system. Yeah. So that means there is some A problem. It is maybe crashing. There is no other failure because Redis is almost stable, very stable. So the error is maybe because of some so you mean network errors. But at that time, other network also, the network is broken from another networks also. So the other client, it doesn't matter, I think. Because in our system, it is not happening because the network is died, but other can also connect, how can I say? You mentioned those kind of situations only can occur. This monitoring system can access A, but other servers can access A. That situation is possible, but it doesn't occur, I think, because the network is paired. A is also, other connection will be closed. Thank you.